Although some may not know it, the 2005 horror movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, were not entirely fictional, but rather based on the actual experiences of Anneliese Michel. On the 21st of September 1952, a couple in Leibelfing, Bavaria, West Germany, give birth to a little girl by the name of Anneliese Michel. Michel was raised by her Roman Catholic parents, Joseph and Anna, along with her 3 sisters. Growing up in the 1960s, Michel was a religious person and attended Mass twice a week along with her family. When Michel was 16 years old, one day she suddenly blacked out at school and began walking around in a daze. Though Michel had no memory of what happened, her friends and family said she was in a trance-like state. A year later, Michel experienced a similar experience where she woke up in a trance and wet her bed. Her body then went through a series of convulsions, causing her body to shake uncontrollably, leaving her family and friends to believe she was possessed by demons. But what happened next is even more terrifying. The exorcisms that her family used to treat her symptoms eventually caused her death on July 1, 1976, at the age of just 23. This is the haunting story of Anneliese Michel. After Michel went into a trance for the second time, Michel went to see a neurologist who diagnosed her with temporal lobe epilepsy, a disorder that causes seizures, loss of memory, and experiencing visual and auditory hallucinations. Temporal lobe epilepsy can also cause Geschwin syndrome, a disorder marked by hyper-religiosity. After her diagnosis, Michel began taking medication for her epilepsy, and in 1973, she enrolled in the University of Würzburg. However, the drugs she was given failed to help her, and as the year went by, her condition began to deteriorate. Though she was still on her medication, Michel began to believe that she was possessed by a demon and that she needed to find a solution other than just medical help. She began to see the face of the devil wherever she went and said she heard demons whispering in her ears. When she heard demons telling her she was damned and would rot in hell while she was praying, she concluded that the devil must be possessing. She and her parents sought out priests to help her with her demonic possession, but all the people she approached rejected her requests, saying that she should seek medical help and that they needed the permission of a bishop anyway. At this point, Michel's delusions had become extreme. Believing she was possessed, she ripped the clothes off her body. She performed up to 400 squats daily. She would crawl under a table and barked like a dog for 2 days. She ate spiders and coal. She also bit the head off of a dead bird and licked her own urine of the floor. Finally, she and her family found a priest, Ernstalt, who believed in her possession. He stated that she didn't look like an epileptic. One day, Michel wrote to Alt, "I am nothing. Everything about me is vanity. What should I do? I have to improve." Alt petitioned the local bishop, Bishop Joseph Stangl, who eventually approved the request and granted a local priest, Arnold Wren's, permission to perform an exorcism, but ordered that it be carried out in total secret. Exorcisms have existed in various cultures and religions for millennia, but the practice became more popular among Catholic churches in the 1500s, with priests who would use the Latin phrase vade retro satana, go back, Satan. Over the period of 10 months following the bishop's approval of Michel's exorcism, Alt and Wren's conducted 67 exorcisms on Michel's, some time lasting over 4 hours. During these sessions, Michel revealed that she believed she was possessed by 6 demons: Lucifer, Cain, Judas Iscariot, Adolf Hitler, Nero, and Fleischmann, a disgraced priest. All these spirits would take control of Michel's body and would communicate from her mouth with a low growl. The demons would argue with each other, with Hitler saying people are stupid as pigs. They think it's all over after death. It goes on, and Judas saying Hitler was nothing but a big mouth who had no real say in hell. Throughout these sessions, Michel would frequently talk about dying to atone for the wayward youth of the day and the apostate priests of the modern church. She broke the bones and ripped the tendons in her knees from continually kneeling in prayer. Over these 10 months, Michel was constantly restrained so the priests could conduct exorcism rites. She slowly stopped eating and drinking, and she eventually died of malnutrition and dehydration on July 1st, 1976. She was just 23 years old. After her death, she became a national headline in Germany after her parents and the 2 priests who conducted the exorcism were charged with negligent homicide. They went to court and even used the recording of Michel's exorcism to justify their actions. The two priests were found guilty of manslaughter resulting from negligence and were sentenced to 6 months in jail and 3 years of probation. But the jail time will later be suspended. The parents were exempted from any punishment because the judge thought they had already suffered enough, a criteria for sentencing in German law. And decades after the trial, the famous horror movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, was released in 2005. Loosely based on Michel's story. While reviews of The Exorcism of Emily Rose were decidedly mixed, the film did pick up a couple of awards, including an MTV Movie Award for Best Frightened Performance by Jennifer Carpenter, who played Emily Rose. Other than her inspiration for a horror film, Michel was an icon for some Catholics who felt modern. Secular interpretations of the Bible were distorting the ancient, supernatural truth it contains. The surprising thing was that the people connected to Michel were all completely convinced that she had really been possessed. While she may be a source of inspiration for some religious people, the story of Michel is not one of spirituality triumphing over science, but of people who should have known better than allowing a mentally ill woman to die from starvation and dehydration. This story shows why we shouldn't always project our own religious belief, hopes, and faith onto someone's delusion. This is the price that was paid for those beliefs.